What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here with G-Reg is filling in for Kelly K9. He's out there working hard. Yeah, I think he might be saving money for that the Texas Tech playoff tickets or something. He's getting ready, but he's got the bye, so he can relax. But I'm in playoff mode with the Canes. I know Greg's the same way, but we're gonna get into some Canes later. But we are gonna get into some Dallas Cowboys. So just want to say for you guys, make sure as you guys are rolling in, hit that thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We do have membership communities, and membership has its privileges. So tonight, I'm just randomly selecting our members. 2 of them are going to get a $25 NFL shop gift card. So you'll get it before Christmas. You guys can go get something nice. They probably got some Cowboy stuff on clearance. You might be able to get a few things there, so you get your money's worth out of it. So definitely welcome everyone coming to the cave. Greg, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Look, I went live for the first time ever on TikTok for the whole Cowboys game. Everybody was chiming in while I had the phone facing the television on the stand, talking smack, and then we got beaten. I told everybody, I said, hey, I love you, but this is my first and last live. And they were like, no, come back. I said, nope. So you know what I'm looking forward to now.
Yeah, I did that one time, and yeah, it wasn't for me. I can't do live watching the game. I did it for preseason. I just couldn't do it for a regular season game because it's just, I don't know. I'm one of those focus fans. Yeah. I get excited, but I'm really kind of like thinking plays ahead, plays back, what's going on, trying to run the scenarios through my head. So I'm probably not really good. It'd be probably pretty boring for me to be on there, but definitely was disappointed in the game. We had our show on Monday, really lost opportunity, and for the team to come out the way they did during a game that meant that much was especially on the defense it was heartbreaking to say the least.
Yeah, and I said before the show, when we had the show, I said McCarthy is consistently inconsistent. I just hope he doesn't have one of his consistent games against us, and I'll be damned.
Yeah, no, and Jerry Jones said it. I said it on, I think, one of the shows earlier. I said the Cowboys have a knack for making every quarterback look like an all-pro. They always seem to have, their career, some sort of career milestone when they play the Cowboys. And we're going to get into the game Sunday. And I know maybe people aren't in game mode and all this kind of stuff, but it is an important game. And what I kind of led with is they still have something to play for, and that's pride, but it's also jobs. They need to figure out who the hell wants to be here and who doesn't. And the person on the hot seat has got to be our defensive coordinator, Eberflus, because you saw Jerry was wanted continuity. He talked about it a lot early in the season. Then he comes in his last appearance on the 105.3 radio show. He said, hey, this is an evaluation time for him and for this defense. And so he's put on notice. And I think the Cowboys probably need to move on. I was early in the season, I was like, give him an incomplete until, he didn't have the players, and now you're getting people back. But it's the same old story. It's get pressure early and then play off, and then just absolutely, get picked apart by the crappy secondary that we got, rolling out there. So it's not working, and I don't think it's going to be fixed in 3 days. The only thing I need 8 wins. I need 8 wins because Vegas has 7.5. I put $300 on that. I need to get 8 wins. So maybe the Chargers, this is a key game for me because I think they need this game because I worry about that last game and they got nothing to play for. No one's going to have nothing to play for, and you just roll out the backups, and it's a coin flip between them and the Giants of who wants it the least. And I got $300 riding on that, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning of the year, we laughed at how Vegas put that bet out there and saying the Cowboys wouldn't win 7 games. We were like, you lost your mind. We're going to the playoffs. And now with 3 games left playing the way we playing, it's really, really tight. And that's what I'm thinking about. That last game, we lose one more game, Jerry's just going to go ahead and put backups in for the rest of the season. Joe Milton and all the rest of them will be playing against the Giants, probably second half against Washington. And who knows how that turns out. And those two
Yeah.
teams be playing hungry. And, they'll be playing hungry and better because they want to beat us going out in the last part of the season and press. But Eberflus had his opportunity. Yes, at first he didn't have Michael, so we gave him a little respect and saying, well, give you the benefit of the doubt. And then after a few games, we said, okay, we take you time to adjust. And he just hasn't adjusted all season long at all. So I don't know what he's doing with the players he got and the ones he got afterwards. He hadn't adjusted. And that Minnesota game was absolutely horrible. He won't be with us next year. I don't think so.
No, I don't think. Then it's like, and we'll get into a little bit what they do. We got a lot of time to talk about that, a lot of weeks to talk about it. But let's talk about the Chargers. And it's an interesting kind of game because the Cowboys have had the Chargers number the last few years. Dak versus Herbert. I think Dak's beat him twice. But for some reason, it's always been on the road. But when the Chargers come to Dallas, we haven't beaten the Chargers in Dallas since Emmitt Smith's rookie year.
Oh,
I had to go back and just double check to make sure I'm not crazy, but our guest might be able to confirm that, but that's what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, but let's not waste any more time. We got a special guest who's a Chargers fan I could deal with. He's an Ohio State fan. I got big problems. So now, first I liked him. Now I don't know if I like it, Will, but welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to be on your platform. I follow you a lot. Of course, I'm a house divided. My wife is the astute Cowboy fan, and G Money is one of my good friends, man. So I'm catching it from all angles, but I'm alone and unafraid.
Yeah.
Well, you hopefully, I know you're going to the game. You're going to have a great time. Have you been to AT&T?
Times watched the Buckeyes play there a couple times, and of course, I watched Dallas play Philly. When I was on a one-day contract with the Cowboys, I even borrowed one of G's jerseys. So, I didn't get mobbed coming in the stadium. So, because I'm an Ezekiel Elliott fan. So,
absolutely.
Ohio State. So,
yeah,
had a great time. I love Jerry's World. Looking forward to going up there. So, not too far. So,
and I want to get out to your stadium. I believe it's, probably rivals Jerry's World. And have you been out there?
Oh, yeah.
Opportunity to go for my birthday. Got the VIP tour, and it is state of the art. There's not a bad seat in it. Some of the things that I didn't know, the 3 different shock levels that it has, because it's built for earthquakes, that it's not built above ground, it's built underground because of the flight patterns for the airplanes. And the fact that the Chargers don't even own the stadium. They're a guest. It's actually the Rams stadium, and the staff, how they swap out everybody's games jerseys depending on who's the home team. There's not a shred of the opposite team there. It was just miraculous. If you never, well, the Olympics will be out there, so it's a state of the art stadium. Like you just got to see it.
Yeah, and I was supposed to. He invited me out last year when they went to the game, and I just couldn't go last year, but the next game we play them out there, I will be going with them, because just like this one, we got tickets. We're all going to be sitting together, me, Will, Regina, my sister. And then I had to have damn surgery. And I'm like, man, so that just messed that all up. It's just, I don't know. Next year, I just have to count on next year, man. We do something.
Yeah, well, we're going to make it happen, but let's talk about these Chargers. This was, was built up to be a much better game. You held up your end of the bargain. You took care of Philadelphia. You did the job that we needed. We didn't hold up our end of the bargain. We lose to Minnesota in just an embarrassing fashion. You can't sugarcoat it any other way. So the game's kind of lost its luster a little bit. It's not as big as, as we hoped. But I still think there's a lot to play for, and you guys obviously have a ton to play for, so you're going to be coming out ready. It's a noon game, which is, if you've ever been to a noon game in Dallas, it's the craziest atmosphere because it's like people are sleepwalking, man. It's just early. I don't know why. It's just early for them, and they're just not ready. So sometimes Cowboys show up, sometimes they don't, but tell me about the Chargers. Talk to us about what can we expect from this team. They've been a little bit up and down, but it seems like they're getting hot at the right time or playing better. Herbert, obviously with the injury, he seemed to work through that. So give us the scouting report on the Chargers.
Right now, I think we're number 11 in the power rankings. I think Dallas came in at 17. You're right. You guys are extremely dangerous because you're playing for jobs, and we're still playing for playoffs. I also agree that we are surging right now. We just got Hampton back, so he has been taking more and more of the workload, and he's becoming the professional that we thought he was going to be when we drafted him out of Oregon. So our job, because we know you guys put up a lot of points in your stadium. For me, if I'm doing a defensive scouting reporting, you guys, is to shrink the game. Like, hey, don't try to go toe for toe for Dallas, because craziness can happen because Pickens is dangerous.
Yeah.
But again, we got one of the league's top pass rushers in Tui Polo two, excuse me, and him and Khalil Mack, they're very dangerous. So if we get you guys in third and longs, it should be a long day for Dak. And my question for Dallas is, because you're not playing for anything, how much time are you going to give him in the seat, considering what happened to Patrick Mahomes last week when they were basically playing for their playoff lives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'll let you jump in, Greg, but that question was asked to Jerry yesterday, and he was very clear. He follows my thought process. I'm here to win. I'm not here for draft pick status. I'm not here to tank games. That's just the way that I was raised, kind of the way that I grew up, the way that I competed. If I'm lining up, I'm playing to win. So he said they're going to play to win every game, and it's evaluation process. So I don't think Dak is going to be sitting anytime soon. I think at the last game, that's what worries me, because of my bet is that's why this game's so important. I think maybe at that last game you just start doing it because really at the end of the day, the Giants probably aren't going to play anyone. We're probably not going to play anyone. It's just kind of wrap it up. But I think for this game, it's important for Jerry to win at home. And I think it's important for the Cowboys to at least build some momentum going into 26, because you have your offense that is pretty much going to be intact next year. They re-signed Ferguson. They re-signed Tyler Smith. They drafted their linemen. So they really have no free agents on their offense of their core guys, except for Javonte Williams, which they probably, I hope they re-sign him. But if not, I mean, they can go get another running back. That just seems to be the trend. Defense is where the eyes are going to be. Eberflus is really, I mean, he's got 1 foot out the door, getting kicked out the door, I should say. But you got guys that are going to be playing for their lives. They're on 1-year contracts. You got guys that need to put good film out there if they want to come back or showcase themselves for another team. So the defense is what I really want to see how they perform, Greg. But I think this team is going to continue to compete. Dak's never had a losing season. I don't think he wants to start one this year. So Greg, any thoughts on where you think the Cowboys mindset is going to be going into this game, but also beyond?
Well, the players are going to play to compete because they're playing for their jobs. They know how horrible they are, especially on defense. And they know Jerry's going to evaluate them and Jerry get rid of them in a heartbeat. So they're going to be playing their ass off these last 3 games, hoping that these last 3 games, they show enough where Jerry brings them back to training camp next year. Because I got a feeling, when they say clean house, I got a feeling on that defense, it's going to be a clean sweep, a deep clean sweep on the defense, to include Eberflus. And we're going to end up getting names out there and people coming in and training camp next year. You probably won't even recognize, but maybe a 2 or 3 people on defense compared to what we got right now. So I know the players will be playing their ass off. They're not going to slack off, because the ones on defense, especially behind the front line, they're not guaranteed a damn thing. None of them. Diggs will not be with us, period. Bland will be with us. Of course, he got paid. The rest of them are out there. Even Logan Wilson, who just came over. All of them, they're out there. So they're going to be playing their ass off. And it would be amazing, and it'd be a shame that they play these 3 games, and this is the best 3 games the defense plays, when we were 1 game shy of being able to keep it in there. And it's just gonna blow my mind. I would like to see us win all the way out, of course.
Yeah.
We have no option unless Philly just shows up for 3 games blind, crippling crazy, which ain't gonna happen. And the last game, Philly won't even play all. They probably won't play all their starters, because the next to the last and the last game, because they win this week, it's irrelevant.
Done.
It's irrelevant. So I'm looking for a clean sweep, to be honest with you, on defense. If we come back in training camp with the same guys, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Yeah. And let me ask you this, Will, really about the Chargers. I'm a big Harbaugh fan. I loved him as a player. He was always hard nosed with Ditka, and then everything he did with the Colts. And then his coaching career, I loved him in the 49ers, even though I'm a Cowboys fan. He goes to Michigan. He obviously, you don't want to talk about that, but they win a national. I mean, he's a winner. I mean, he is. He's a gritty winner, and he's put together this team. And I like what they're building. Hampton, talk about Hampton in that, I've watched him, obviously North Carolina, play Miami. So he was one of those guys that I was looking at for the Cowboys. Hey, if he falls to you, that's a guy that I would love to get. How has his season been? Been a little injured, here and there, but I mean, how do you overall grade him and where he's at right now?
Last couple of games in the first 3 weeks, Harbaugh, as you mentioned earlier, he's a run guy. He's a Big Ten guy. And that's why they drafted him. The ankle injury was unfortunate, but then you get Vidal that's right behind him, and they still churning out points. Chargers get in trouble when we have to turn into gunsling games. But what Harbaugh wants to do and how he's built this team is to run. And now you got two viable options, and you got two Hampton is very young. Vidal was probably in his peak season, and he got him for pretty cheap. So that's part of shrinking the game. Yeah, can Herbert get you out of a jam? Absolutely. Is the tight end Gladson? Is he a top target? Yeah. So they'll be looking at the film on what the Vikings did to you guys, and we'll look to implement it. But they're definitely going to pound it with. And I say I'll probably say he'll probably get close to 100 yards, Hampton alone, just because they're going to try to shrink the game.
Yeah, well, I don't like to hear that. What about you, Greg?
Well, I'm thinking what the Chargers are going to do, because Herbert does like to throw the ball, and he's got an arm. I'm thinking what the Chargers are going to do. Of course, they're going to try to get the running game established, because that sets up the passing game. But I think what the Chargers are going to do is say, look, the easiest way to the Dallas Cowboys is to attack that defensive linebacker and DBs. And we can run, but listen, if we just start off throwing that ball behind that linebacker, anywhere back in the DBs, we're going to kill them. Because they saw what McCarthy did, who to me is still not a number one draft pick quarterback. He just happened to have that game. It just rolled around, and he had that game against us. Next week, he'll probably just poop on himself. And they just happen to have it against us. But if I'm the Chargers and Harbaugh, I'm slinging it. Not all the way downfield. I'm going right behind the linebackers. I'm going right across the post. I'm going right at the cornerbacks. And as long as it's working, I'm going to keep doing it. And just as they set somebody back a little bit, then I'm going to run the ball. And Chargers, we've always had their number when we go out there. We had their number when we go out there. And now, after seeing what the Cardinals did and what Minnesota did, and the Chargers are playing right behind Minnesota, you damn sure better believe that Harbaugh is sitting there licking at the chop. We're going to destroy those DBs. And I see it coming.
Yeah. No, and I was trying to look. They had they were talking about different things, and one thing that surprised me with Justin Herbert was he's been sacked a career high 49 times. So the Cowboys don't have, if the Cowboys can't get to him and wreak a little bit of havoc, then that doesn't say a whole lot. He leads the NFL in quarterback hits, quarterback pressures. Kind of tells me maybe your offensive line is a problem for you guys. Is it injury related, or is it just talent? What are we looking at?
Alt, which was our pro. He I think he was the left guard or tackle, but he's an all pro. And this is again, hey, we know we got the playoffs coming. We know we're in the wild card hunt. Shrink the game. Let's minimize the hits. If we get behind, Greg is right, man. We're going to come gunslinging. I think to preserve Herbert as much as you can, they're going to just, like I said, establish the run and try to get out of there in a short game without getting a lot of dings in Herbert, because we still I think we're only 2 games behind the Broncos.
Yeah.
So for the number one seed, or at least the West. So I I'm shrinking the game. I
Yeah.
got 2 studs in the backfield. I'm shrinking the games and minimizing hits on Herbert.
Now,
Yeah.
with Herbert, let me tell you what Herbert's going to have to worry about, because we don't put much pressure on quarterbacks. Now, we got the guys on defense that can plug the hole and stop the run, and every now and then get in there and get them. We're better on defensive line from preventing somebody from busting that hole now with Clark and Quentin Williams. But if we don't put the pressure on Herbert, he's going to have a field day. If we get a little pressure on him on the edge, what Herbert's going to have to be mindful of, because he's kind of sloppy with his hands, that left wrist. Because if that left wrist gets hit again, and I mean really hitting this game, it's going to mess up his gaining the ball from the center. It's going to mess up his coordination a little bit. It's going to force him to do things that he doesn't want to do quickly, which will be in our advantage. So he's got to really protect that wrist, not only in our game, going forward for the playoffs, because you better believe y'all make the playoffs. The first thing them defensive ends are going to be looking at is trying to get to his wrist. Because if you want to hit somebody where they're injured and not make it look like it's so violent, but you hit him where he's injured, you can get him out of the game. And where goes Herbert goes the Chargers.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. It's gonna be an interesting game. I mean, the Chargers seem to be rolling, the Cowboys seem to be reeling. That the way the NFL is this year, that means the Cowboys are probably gonna win. I mean, it just has been that kind of season. So before we wrap it up with you, Will, and definitely appreciate you coming in and have a great time at AT&T. It's going to be phenomenal. Hopefully, I'll see you at AT&T when the Canes go against Ohio State. But since you're in the West, and you know the Chiefs, you guys pretty much right. You know, you ended it for them. Looking at Mahomes and that Chiefs dynasty, do you think it's kind of the time has come and they're never going to be the same, or do you think that the Chiefs and Mahomes, they can rebound, regroup, and they can get themselves back? It's going to be tough next year because he's probably going to be missing time. Mm-hmm. But do you think they can recapture the magic that they've had for all those years with Mahomes?
Yeah. It was a great run for the Chiefs, and it sucked being in the same division as them. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I think he's a great guy, a great competitor. But these type of injuries this late in your career with the timeline, I know modern medicine kind of helps out with all that stuff, but it's different. I mean, because now you got to come back from that. Oh, and you're a year older, and now salary cap stuff. I mean, you saw what happened. They was rotating running backs, which Pacheco and all of those folks getting hurt and injured. I think the mystique of the Chiefs, just kind of like the Eagles this year, is kind of worn off. People aren't as afraid of them anymore, because who saw Denver coming and doing what they were doing? Who saw us coming? Because they were mopping us up too. We couldn't even, they were just beating us twice a year.
Yeah.
And now there's a little chink in the armor. They got a little bit behind. Boom. Now you get an injury. Now you get a devastating, at least 8-9 months recovery. And he might not even start the season. He might come in.
No, I don't. I think he's going to miss. They said he could miss half the year.
Yeah. And
for me, I think the mystique is over. It was a good run, but
yeah. No, I know it's unfortunate. I love good quarterback play. I love good football. As much as I don't like the Patriots and Brady, when he retired, man, I started watching that Brady series, and you just respect him. And I think the same is kind of like with Mahomes and those guys. But Greg, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I remember last year we were talking, and I said it was like the middle of the season, and I said, Mike, I can see the chink in the armor on Kansas City. They're starting to decline. That dynasty is coming to an end. And last year I said, I don't think they make the Super Bowl. They did, but that chink was really exposed when they got in there on how Philly just bum rushed them and mollywopped them. And I knew that chink that really destroyed their armor. Now, if they come back, it's going to be a totally different team, other than Mahomes still being on there. And Kelsey, I think they're going to have to talk him into doing one more year. He'll probably just make the Taylor Swift move and just move on and go out some other place. But their dynasty is over. Every dynasty doesn't last forever.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, and in y'all division, unless the Raiders come up with a huge, remarkable turnover next year, I see it's going to come down to you guys and the Broncos for the next couple of years fighting for that division.
Yeah, no.
Point that I would add to that is the things you don't see, right? We see the play on the field, but when you start seeing those coach and player arguments happening during a game,
Yeah,
that's your first indicator, because winning usually solves all that stuff. So when you got Kelsey going at Reed and they're having these on-field altercations, that's your first thing. Oh, something is happening in the locker room that now it's spilling over for everybody to see. And because they win, oh no, everything is fine. But those are always key indicators. You
yeah.
guys had it with Dez Bryant. You guys had it with all your high-profile wide receivers. When this thing starts spilling over into a game, something
Yeah.
is not happening in the locker room.
No, absolutely. And well, I say good luck. I do. I honestly mean, good luck and good health. You guys still got something to play for. I need the win. It's all financial for me, so it's nothing personal. It's just business. I cannot lose this bet because I was so confident in it. I should know Vegas. They put those big buildings in Vegas for a reason. They know a hell of a lot more than I do, but Will, thank you so much for being a great guest on here. Enjoy the game. Have a great time. House divided. We always love that. I don't know how you guys haven't been able to do it. My wife was a Redskins fan, and I told her, babe, before we tie that knot, you got it. All that stuff's got to go adios. It's all Cowboys, and you ain't living in this house. So I don't know where you went wrong, but she should have converted you to be a Cowboys fan because that's the good side. But definitely appreciate it. The Ohio State, we're gonna work on that too. We're gonna work on that too.
Hey, he wore a Cowboys jersey because I gave him Zeke.
Hey, gotta stick with the OH. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the opportunity, man.
I will take care.
I'm hollering at you, Will.
Have a great time, man.
Yes, sir. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, man. That was a great time. It got some good insight. Let me fix my camera a little bit. I always like to get the U in there and the star. But I think we got it's going to be an interesting game. And, this is probably our last live show before the holidays. So as people were rolling in, I didn't get a chance. Hey, definitely Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all the good stuff for everybody. And definitely appreciate all the support to the Cowboys Cave. So I was randomly writing names down of our members, and I've got Garland, and I've got, I believe it is it Rick? RPE, are you Rick? And it is at your handle on Twitter. You guys are the winners of my $25 NFL Shop gift card. So Garland, I know I got your information. I believe it's Rick. Rick, if I'm right, say yes. And make sure I know your Twitter handle if it's at the same. I will DM you guys. Basically what it is, it's an gift card. So all you've got to do is when you check out, add gift card, you punch the number in. There's a PIN number on there, and you guys are good to go. So that's where I say membership has its privileges, and I will continue to be doing this because I appreciate you guys that became members to the Cowboys Cave family. And the subscribers are great, so you don't have to be a member. But anyone who does, I want to try and give back. So I'm going to continue to do different giveaways, and we'll be doing some member-only stuff to really kind of make it worthwhile. So I'll be getting in touch with you guys tonight, and I'll get you your info. They're supposed to be sending them to me. Hopefully I got them on my email, but I'll get it. But if you guys do want to be part of the family, we appreciate it. You just got to hit join. You'll see it down below us as well. And you can do that, and it's awesome. But we'll be doing another one after the holidays. But you guys have a Merry Christmas too. So now let's get a little bit more Cowboys, and then we're gonna finish this bad boy off with the U. So evaluation time for our Cowboys. And what are you looking at? Now we talked about it. We talked about defense. But I want to throw a name out to you guys. And, for some reason, it's been a hot button issue. It's kind of, maybe it died off a little bit. But George Pickens, I mean, do you need to see anything from George Pickens to sway you from not signing him to a new contract, or franchising him. Or if you don't see enough, do you say you franchise him and let him try and prove it another year and roll the dice and see if he doesn't get upset or whatever happens? Where are you guys with Pickens? That's what I want to know. Do you need to see more, or have you seen enough? Greg, what you say? I know Andrew says sign.
I've seen more than enough. What Pickens has done this year, and Lamb is my boy, but what Pickens has done this year is outshine Lamb. To me, this year, Pickens was numero uno wide receiver this year, this whole year. Remember how I always talked about Michael Gallup? I love the way Michael Gallup goes up and gets the ball like a gymnast. That's what Pickens does. And then it's after the play what Pickens does. And he's smart and strategic. It's like he knows what the DBs are going to do. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how to outsmart them. He doesn't just play the game to catch it. He plays the psychological game after he catches the ball. I don't need to see anything else from Pickens. I just want Jerry to pay him. What I'm afraid of, Mike, is number one, I guarantee, well, I ain't gonna say guarantee, but I bet Jerry's gonna franchise tag him first. Jerry's a cheapster. We all know that. He's gonna franchise tag him. I just don't want Jerry to grab him from his agent and go around to the Coke machine and try to make a deal, because then he's gonna insult the man like he did Michael. But Jerry's looking at them dollars again. Whether he's got them or not, he's not gonna go and pay Pickens and give him that long contract. Jerry's the type of guy, you do 99 things right, he's going to find one thing to try to justify why he wants to lowball you. And that is a cheapster. So if he does sign him and give him the money he deserves, I'm like, Jerry has found a new leaf for 1 year. Whatever he's been eating over the last 6 months or whatever, keep feeding him that throughout the offseason when he starts to sign people, because maybe he'll stay on it. So Pickens will be with us, whether it's franchise tag or whether he pays him. I just hope if he franchise tag him, Pickens doesn't get pissed because he knows his value and decides, I'm not going to ride this out on the franchise tag expecting to get paid the next year because I know Jerry Jones. His reputation, Jerry's reputation, can be the very thing that makes Pickens walk. Because I guarantee you, somebody out there is going to say, oh, Jerry's going to franchise tag you? Look, man, look what I'll pay you. And I know he wants his bank, and I don't blame him, but damn it, we need Pickens. We need Pickens bad on that offense next year. So whatever Jerry does, please do what it takes to satisfy Pickens and keep him first and foremost. I have no questions, no doubts. I don't worry about his maturity or nothing. Pickens is what we need, and we need him long term.
Yeah. Well, let's we got a super sticker. Garland, appreciate it, man. Thank you. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say or you're just showing some love. Whichever way it works, definitely do appreciate it. Appreciate the love. But if you have something you want to say, then type it in there, and I will make sure you are read and you are given the love that you need. But appreciate the love to the Cowboys Cave. Again, you guys have a great holiday. I'm going on a cruise, so I'm gonna watch the Cowboy game in the Keys. We got to stop there, and the Miami game we got to watch on the boat. So my wife really didn't plan this out too well for me, so we're gonna make do of it. But what I'd say on Pickens is I will disagree about CD is the man, and I think CD has proven over the last few games, because people have forgotten that CD is the man, and he is our number one guy. Now I think Pickens is 1A, but I'm not shortchanging CD in any way, because I think he's proven he's actually had as many 100-yard games as Pickens has missing time. But Pickens has had those huge games, a 160-yard game. But I'm agreeing with you. I think they sign him. I think Jerry talked about the Cowboys are in a very good cap position. They've got money that they can move around. They've freed up obviously money with Parsons, trading him. Steele, they can let go of Steele. That's $18 million, I believe, off the top of my head. It frees up Diggs, which we can get into next. But Diggs, I really do believe the reason you're not seeing Diggs on the field is because there's a guarantee in his contract. If he gets hurt, his next year is guaranteed. they can let him go and not take a big hit. So I think that's what they're kind of doing with Diggs. Is they're almost like, I think, didn't Russell Wilson, a team, do that to Russell Wilson? Was it the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Seahawks? Someone did that, I thought, to Russell Wilson.
It wasn't
Was
Denver.
it Pittsburgh?
I think it was Pittsburgh
Or Denver. Maybe it was Denver. Didn't Denver send him home? There was Denver.
Oh, you mean as far as not playing
him?
Yeah. It was Denver because Sean Payton put him on the sideline just for that. For that. Yeah.
So they can't really come out and say it because I think the NFL Players Association might have an issue with it. So that's kind of what's going on there. So I think he's done. But I do think the Cowboys signed Pickens. I think what Jerry really likes, and I think this organization likes, is this offense is dynamic. And I think they're locked up. I think there's a reason why they signed Tyler Smith. I think there's a reason why they signed Ferguson. It's not a big signing, but still on the offense, Hunter Lipke, they re-signed to an extension. So they made the moves, and it's kind of like a 2-year window for them with Dak's contract, CD's contract. They can move stuff around to where the focus on defense really has to be draft. They're going to have to, I don't think they're going to make any big free agent signings. I just don't think they will because they're going to pay the money in-house, but they're going to have to draft well on defense, and they're going to they got 2 1s and a 2. They need to get 3 starters out of those picks. They cannot miss. I mean, Will McClay and the staff is going to have to do their due diligence, and they're going to have to, they're going to just have to hit, they don't need to hit the home run, but they better hit a triple or a double because they're going to need some starters out of it. So looking at Diggs, I've talked about that. I mean, is everyone kind of in agreement with Diggs? His days are over. His days are over.
Diggs is done. And that's the very reason why they don't want Diggs to play. He's already coming back from an injury. Now, they put him back in and he re-injures it. That's money. And Diggs, to be honest with you, I don't think Diggs wants to play these last 3 games to take a chance on an injury and to take a chance on his stock diminishing in a trade, because he'll come out there in these next 3 games against the Chargers, Washington, and the Giants, and he'll get bum rushed. He'll probably get exposed farther than he's been exposed this season. So with that on his mind, his mental capacity right now dealing with coming back from an injury, hasn't really tested his injury yet. And then knowing what he's going to be looking at next year, hoping somebody will pick him up and pay him decent, Diggs is probably going to sit on that sideline. He ain't going to say nothing. He's probably thinking just like management. I'm hoping management is thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Don't play me because it's going to be money out of their pocket that they can keep, and I don't want them to pay me because it could be money out of my pocket that I get from a trade, and I don't want to take the chance, and I'm kind of nervous. I don't have my confidence back, and I'm not sure about my injury, so let me sit because I'll be somewhere else. So Diggs is, as far as I'm concerned, he's gone, and if he is with us next year, I'm not going to have a lot of confidence.
He's not going to be with us next year.
But I tell you this, Mike.
Let me give a quick shout out to Garland because he gave that super sticker. So I gotta make sure I get that in there. He wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas, everybody in the chat. So Garland, appreciate it, my friend. And hopefully we will see you at the 4th annual Cowboys Cape Tailgate Party. But go ahead, Greg. I didn't mean to cut you.
But yeah, I tell you, man, any other team with a regular GM, I would be sitting here saying, okay, now we're at that part of the season where I know we got to start looking forward to next season. And I know we got a GM that's going to go out there and hit that road. So I would feel a lot confident. I don't feel really confident. I'm just going to have to see what transpires in the offseason and during the draft. And like I said about the draft, I've always felt this way about the draft, with the exception of people that I knew like Emmett, Zeke, Michael Irvin, those type of guys that I knew coming out. Those were hits. But the draft to me is getting talent, but they're not automatically developed and ready for the speed of the NFL when they come in if they're going to be our starters right off the bat. That's why I really hope there are some free agents out there, not older free agents, some free agents out there with the money Jerry has and some good scouting, Will McClay and those guys saying, look, we can get this defensive back, we can get that linebacker, and so-and-so from so-and-so with experience that will see it, and I could be wrong. Anybody they go out there and get to come in our DB background and our linebacker core will be better than what we got. because I've been with them for years. And even though they were 1-15, they weren't 1-15 because of the defense like this. They were 1 in defense because they didn't have an offense at all. But this defense is absolutely pathetic. It's shredded in every way. There's no way I can put a plus on anybody back there in the linebackers or DBs. And the only person among all them that I would give some credit to, and not a whole lot, is Bland.
Yeah.
Bland.
Yeah.
But other than that, a clean sweep would be fine with me.
When I'm looking, honestly, when I'm looking at this defense, to me, you got to be strong up the middle. And they're strong with their D tackles, but their linebacker is terrible. I mean, they're terrible with the middle linebacker. That's got to be a priority. And the cornerbacks, I'm not as hateful on the cornerbacks as you are, because I think Revel has shown stuff and he's coming off an injury. I think he's going to make a big leap next year. And I think you got Bland. I think you need one more. So I think they can get that. Carson just doesn't look like he's the guy. He's gotten beat really bad. And it's, I think they're going to need to get one cornerback. But really, to me, it's safety. And you got to be strong up the gut. And I think our biggest Achilles heel in the secondary is with our safeties. And I think that's an area that you can get in free agency at a decent price. I mean, they're not it's not a huge contract position. So I think the Cowboys in free agency could go get that veteran that's still got some, still got some game left, isn't at the end of his career, could go look at a safety. But I think it's going to be the draft. I think the Cowboys are a draft and develop team. I mean, you look at Booker this year, Tyler Booker, we kind of all were pissed off that they drafted him. He's had kind of a, believe it or not, a Pro Bowl year. If you look at the pressure percentage given up and what he's done, he's played better and better and better. So I think the Cowboys, they're going to have to strike. They're going to have to strike gold with you get 2 first-round picks. You got to make something out of them. Mm-hmm. And the thing with them is I'm not BPA, best player available. I know they are. At this point, I'm getting me the best player in the position that I need. And if you got to maneuver in the draft, but we need to fill key roles on that defense. We need some toughness. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was listening to Darren Woodson's, podcast with the Pivot, his interview. Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, he said it. We just don't have our middle linebackers were just badasses back in the day. I mean, they were mean, they were nasty, and they're gonna light your ass up. We don't have that. They look confused. They look slow. They're not, no intimidation. I think that's where this team is lost. They don't have an identity on defense. There is no identity. I think Quinnen Williams was a phenomenal pickup. I think that's going to pay dividends. Obviously, Osa, you get Kenny Clark. You're strong right there, but they've got to get that middle linebacker, and they got to get that safety. Mm-hmm. They got to get strong up the middle, and I think everything else on the offense, I wouldn't change a thing on the offense, except I'd probably get rid of Steele and find another right tackle, but I wouldn't touch the offense. I would just focus everything on this defense.
Yeah, Steele is one of the last part of the legacy, the big going out the door. So, and Steele was great for us, great. But his time has come. And yeah, if they move Steele, it's not going to hurt me. Congratulations, Steele. I'm not hating on him. I love what he did for us with his time with the Cowboys. But it's time for Steele to go, and then we'll start fresh with somebody else. I would still get one more person for the defensive line, just one more. Try to get.
Well, let me throw a name out because you did. There's rumors that Bain from Miami there's some scouts that these experts are. Some of them have dropped him down to a 2nd round grade. So if that ends up happening, he could fall to Dallas in one of those 1st-round picks, and I think that would be a phenomenal steal I love evaluations because they over-evaluate and they just try and break down guys too much. But I've watched Bain play since he's a freshman, and I know Greg, I know you have as well. That dude is a badass, and I would love to see someone like that fall to the Dallas Cowboys. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you said defensive lineman, that just, whets my appetite, thinking that these idiots could be that stupid and let him fall down to us. But I hope it happens.
Well, I was going to cue Bain up a little bit later, and yes, I'm a little biased for Bain, but yes, Bain would be good for, and I can guarantee you, some of the former Hurricanes are in Jerry's ear. They're in Will McClay's ear. They're in every coaching staff in here, especially Michael Irvin. All of them, they've probably been in their ear during most of half of the season about Bain. If Bain falls to us, that would be a good pick, because they can come up with all these measurables, immeasurables, whatever. They can never measure this. And we always get astonished every year when players come in from the 5th and 6th round, and everybody's saying, well, they're 5th and 6th round, they got to make the team, and they blow away the competition that came out of the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round because of the heart. And Bain, if he drops, okay, so what? That'll give us a better opportunity to get him. We have a relationship with the Miami Hurricanes, and I'm sure the Hurricane players and alumni will be pushing Jerry to bring him in. So I wouldn't be mad at all. And Baines will come in with that fire and desire to do what we need. But still, one more hardcore talent on that defensive line to shore it up. But like you mentioned, Mike, you said Revel, Bland, and who else did you mention? Revel, Bland.
I talked about Carson didn't do much for me, but
no. But the ones that you say got some promise, we already know Bland is signed. Revel, and the fact that we don't have a safety. Revel and Bland, they stay. From the safety on back around the field. Marquise Bell, thank you for the years you gave me. Wanye Thomas, thank you for the years you gave me. The rest of you guys got to go, because it's not your heart, and because they're out there playing hard, they just don't have it no more. They don't have it, and we need some fresh talent in there. Really,
I don't. I think that secondary needs an overhaul, across the board, like you said. No disagreement. I think linebacker. I mean, how disappointed are you with Overshown, not as the player, but Eberflus, he comes back and you have an opportunity to really kind of make him, I don't want to say like Micah, but a guy that you can rush, you can move him all around, you can get him everywhere, take advantage of his skill, the speed, everything. But it just doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's not putting him in any of those kind of positions as much as we'd like. I mean, what's your thoughts on Overshown and how he's being utilized?
Well, I think that Eberflus got overwhelmed. Once, I think the Micah thing messed his psyche up real bad. And then when he had time to adjust, he may not have had the talent to adjust, but no matter what he tried, just didn't work. When Overshown came back, surprisingly, the second game Overshown played, he looked like the Overshown that prior to him getting hurt. He was all over the field trying to make plays. And that his heart is probably the biggest heart in the stadium, and his skill level is right up there. So he's constantly developing. He's going to be a beast next year if we get the right defensive coordinator that can put him in the right schemes. Overflus, I think he got to the point, Mike, where Water's coming, dipping out of here, Water sipping here. He's paying Peter to play Paul, and he's trying to fix this, and it just got overwhelming for him. And I think Overflus, no matter what he tried, if it didn't work right away, he probably tried something else. That didn't work right away, try something else. And I just think he is spent. He is spent. Yeah. I really think he's spent. And this defense coordinating job for him could possibly be his last stop, unless a team that is down in the dirt like Jets or Cleveland or somebody gives him a chance. But Eberflus had time to recover and make it better. And it's either the talent just wasn't getting it, or he wasn't putting in the right schemes when he realized they weren't getting it. So do something to pacify it, and he didn't. So clean house.
I want to jump in. The Sports 78. Absolutely phenomenal point on that last sentence. You draft the players and you get the players. You fit your scheme to the players you have. You have the players that you have and their skill set. It's as your job as a coach is to maximize their ability and put them in the best positions to be successful based on the skill set that they have. You can't put a round hole in a square peg, and all those little, and Jerry even touched on that, because they tried to say, hey, is it the players or the coach? And he said, good coaches, they get the system that fits their players that they have. And I think the Cowboys, we have some flaws. We definitely have some flaws. But when I'm watching Eberflus and the lack of pressure, we talked about the secondary, and this is what I was saying, on a show earlier, is your secondary is suspect. We all agree. You've got some pass rush. I mean, Eazy-E, you got Fowler, you got Clowney. I mean, you got some guys that can rush the pass. You're getting pressure up the gut. How about we blitz a lot? How about we, disguise blitzes? You saw what Flores was doing. You had 6 guys up, 3 guys jump back. You don't know it's a DN going out. You don't know who's dropping into coverage. It creates some confusion. We're very vanilla. And I would much rather go down fighting than lay down and just let them kill you. And we were getting at J.J. McCarthy earlier. We're getting at Goff early. And you saw they were making errant throws. The throws were short. They were off. They got batted, interception, whatever. And then you just back off. And I just don't understand the logic of why you back up. You should be turning the heat up, because you know what? If they pick up the blitz and they make a big play, they were going to probably get down there anyway. So at least if you get there a few times, you can create some turnovers. You might create something. I just don't understand. He's either really damn stubborn or he's stupid. I don't know which one it is. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mike, I think he got overwhelmed. He got scared. The pressure from Jerry, and he just started trying everything and never stuck to nothing. And when you said blitzing, I'm sitting there thinking the same thing, because there's 2 defensive coordinators out there that I wouldn't have an issue if Jerry tried to go out there and get them. One would be Ryan Flores. The only concern I have with Ryan Flores is Brian Flores. One thing about him, the player's going to have to deal with his attitude, because he's a no-nonsense. He's like a Sean Payton.
Yeah.
He will rip you to shreds. And if they're not accustomed to that, they may not be able to respond to it. And then the other one would be Schwartz for the Cleveland Browns. I wouldn't have an issue at all if we got him. He hasn't been a good head coach, but he's always been one hell of a defensive coordinator, all the way back to Detroit. And Cleveland's problem is not their defensive coordinator. It's the fact that they don't have an offense. They don't have identity with quarterbacks.
Yeah, now their defense is good.
But Schwartz or Flores, I wouldn't have a problem if we went out and got them. But something about Jerry, I just feel like when it comes to getting those guys that we know like that can come in here and make a change immediately, it's something about them, though. Either maybe it's the money or something, or the fact that
I can tell you what it is.
He can't control them.
He runs a family business, and family business usually likes to have familiarity. And if you look at his coordinators, Zimmer, longtime Cowboy, bring him back. Yep. Eberflus, former Cowboy coach, bring him back. He likes to have the familiar faces around a comfort level. So I think that's one of the things with Jerry. I mean, you had what's his name? Jason Garrett, and Shoddy was on the staff. Obviously, Mike was an outsider, but Mike and Stephen Jones, I guess, had a friendship, and they talked a few times at different NFL events or something like that. So there was something there. There's always kind of that connect the dots to connection, between them. And that's probably who your next guy will be. I'd like to see them get, like you talked about Flores. You're probably not going to get Flores because he's under contract, defensive coordinator. You're not, but look at these best defenses and see who that linebacker coach is. See who the secondary, a name that is being brought up a lot. Is Al Harris. Al Harris, familiar with the Cowboys. He went to Chicago, right? And he's working under them. I mean, Nashawn Wright is at a Pro Bowl level. I mean, this guy couldn't see the field for us. So, I know his name's out there. Now, how are they going to be calling a defense? You're going to get a guy that doesn't have that experience, but I think they need to go find that young, innovative mind that comes from a tree of really good defensive coordinator that they can steal their ideas, steal that philosophy, and get him in here. Or, dare I say, would you entertain Rex Ryan?
No, because I listen to Rex Ryan on Get Up. And Rex, one thing about Rex is desperate to get back in the NFL. Everything he talks about is, no, they shouldn't be doing this. I would do this for every team. Rex has gone, come back, gone, come back, gone, come back. The game has surpassed Rex. Yeah, I know he's in a position where he's able to sit back and really watch it more. But I think Rex is in that pocket like the McCarthys and like this other coach that left for a while. Gruden and those guys who left. Yeah. They formed their own little coaching staff in viewing games and out there soliciting how they would do things. And then when they came back, the game had passed them. The game is past Rex. I just don't think Rex, he can talk it on Get Up. He can talk it. But I just don't think Rex has what he had with the Jets when it comes to that, or that defensive coordinating skill that has changed. The philosophy has changed in the NFL now since he left. We need that fresh talent. I didn't like the fact that we let Al Harris get away. I didn't like that at all. He did a damn good job with our DBs, the culture of them, how they played, how they responded. He was a hell of a teacher and everything. I just didn't like the fact that we let him go. And when he let him go, we immediately saw a difference. So,
well, here's a name. I mean, a sport. I mean, I'm gonna have to get you on the staff with all these great comments. So, hopefully, I don't know if I know you from Twitter or not, but maybe I do. If I do, let me know who you are, because another great comment. Todd Bowles, right in my backyard, in Tampa. He has some familiarity with Jerry Jones. He was with Parcells, so that could be a name that you could see. I think that would be a really a good, strong candidate as well. I've always liked Todd Bowles. I'm not a huge fan of him as a head coach, but I've always loved him as a coordinator. And I will give a plug for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did this series, and I only watched one. I mean, I gotta love what Amazon and Netflix they're taking. They did a thing with the Cowboys. Well, they did one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because their 50th anniversary. That I've only watched the first episode, but it is absolutely just an interesting documentary on how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got started and kind of their journey. It shows kind of their first 5 years, and the coach is obviously he's funny as hell. He is. The best comment ever was, what do you think about your execution? And he goes, I'm all for it. About Tampa Bay and John McKay, who is a legendary USC coach. But and looking at those guys, but it was interesting because it was how the NFL really screwed expansion teams back then, and you really got some insight in it, and how cheap Hugh Culverhouse was. They showed the facility and showed how they had this plane, and the players went on this plane, and they're like, we will not. Some of them ended up paying their own ticket to fly back, because it was almost like Major League, if you remember Major League, when the guy gets the plane. But if you guys get a chance, I'm going to watch the second episode tonight, but it was really good. I didn't mean to digress on, but when you said Todd Bowles, it made me think of the Buccaneers. But he would be another one that I think, and I think his coaching experience would help, Shoddy as well. I think there's something good about having a guy with some NFL experience that could be another set of eyes and just kind of that thought process for Shoddy.
If I was a king for a day and Tampa Bay fired him, I would be at his house, at his front door with presents, gifts, and everything, and said, please be my defense coordinator. Todd Bowles, for his entire career as a defensive coordinator, has been creme de la creme. I don't know what it is about him. quiet as he's kept, but he has powerful defensive coordinator skills. And if Tampa let him go, he would be a shoe for them. And I laughed so hard when you were talking. I hadn't even seen the show, so what you're talking about, so I'm going to look for it. But I laughed so hard because it dates me. I remember all the expansion teams years before they came in and when they came in. And I remember when Tampa Bay came in and their head coach and the shit he used to say on the sideline. It was comedic. It was, if you wasn't going to enjoy the game because they wasn't winning shit, but boy, you definitely enjoyed his comments. It was off the chain how he was. He came out of USC thinking he was going to come to the NFL with this expansion team.
But he said 5-year plan, and they were in the playoffs in 5 years. I give him credit.
They were in the playoffs, but those first couple of years, man, it was the funniest thing that you've ever seen. People don't realize that's what Steve Young got his start. Steve Young was with them. But I watched all these teams come into the NFL from expansion team. That's what dates me, and that's why I was laughing so hard about Tampa, because I remember that comedy show.
No, it was it is a good watch. It's on, I believe, Amazon Prime, but it's a good watch, and it was really, really. I mean, they really screwed those expansion teams because you could get like 3 guys. Each team had to kind of, and there was no rules. So like McKay's like, they give us these guys, and they're like, some of them are retired, like, you know, they were never going to play again, but there's no rules. So they get like this 38-year-old guy that's so out of shape. So they got all these scrubs. They were thinking they're getting NFL players. They draft, they're going to be good. So then all they have is Leroy Selman. They drafted his brother Dewey, and, you know, they end up with Steve Spurrier they traded for. I mean, it was just I felt bad for him, but they loved the Tampa Bay fans, the way they supported them. I mean, losing 26 games in a row, they win their first game, and there's 20,000 people waiting to greet them at the airport. It's a good series. Like I said, I'm only one in, but I definitely check it out. There's another one I didn't see called the Chiefs Kingdom, which kind of probably talks, you know, to what we talked about earlier with the Chiefs and their dynasty and kind of where they're at. But anyway, I didn't mean to digress.
Yeah,
go ahead.
People don't realize Tampa Bay was a half a field on a drive away from winning that game and going to the Super Bowl against the who they play in the Super Bowl? I forgot who
that would have been Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh. Yeah. They were beating the hell out of LA. Los Angeles. I mean the Los Angeles Rams back then. They were beating the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Yep, and then they came within a half a drive from getting into the end zone and going, because they had home field advantage of going to.
That's what surprised me. They had the home field against the Rams. They beat Philadelphia in the first round. Then they got the Rams, and it was 9-0. That's what the score was. It was 9-0, the championship game.
It was and everybody in the world was rooting for Tampa Bay. Everybody, and that would have been Doug Williams' first Super Bowl.
Yes,
that would have been his first Super Bowl. Yeah,
and I thought it said a lot. You know, that was the time where, you know, the black quarterback was never getting a chance. Tampa Bay and that organization drafted him, you know, be the quarterback. Yep. And I didn't know Joe Gibbs was the guy on. I mean, I didn't know it. Joe Gibbs was on their staff, and Wayne Fonts was the defensive coordinator. I did not, you know, the whole connection. I did not know all of that. So it was definitely. But then you know why the Gibbs got Williams, you know, when he went to Washington.
Yep. And a lot of people didn't realize that, like, a different generations past, because I'm the baby boomer. Generations past me don't realize that Steve Spurrier was a quarterback for Tampa Bay, and Steve Young. Steve Young got his ass beat up at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah,
I used to watch him run across the field. Sometimes he just wanted to throw the ball down and run to the sideline. They tore him up, and he was so mad because he thought his career would never take off because of the team he ended up getting drafted to, and he felt that was just a disservice to him, and he got lucky that he eventually was able to move on.
Yeah. No, definitely. And before we jump to my final subject, where is it? I see. Do you guys think the Eagles can go back to back if healthy? I would say this. The problem I have with the Eagles is their offense. And I just think that is, unfortunately, just being an objective fan, I think unfortunately that's going to do them in. They have the defense. I think their defense is championship caliber defense. Their offense just does not seem to be in rhythm, and they just seem lost. Now, if they got hot and they finish these last 3 games and their offense is clicking, the game that will probably tell a sign will be the Bills. I mean, that'll be the telltale sign of kind of where they're at. But I just think what I've seen with the Rams and, even Seattle, even though they didn't look great against the Colts, and, and you see these other teams in the NFC, I just don't know. But I think the best teams are in the AFC this year. I hate to say it, breaks my heart. But looking at the teams in the AFC, I just think that the champion's going to end up coming out of the AFC.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and here's what I see about the Eagles. The Eagles aren't motivated. They're not. I can see they're not hungry like they
just seem like they're going through the motions.
They've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3-4 years. They won one, almost won the first one. They won one. They've been there, done that. They don't seem hungry this year. The hungry teams that once you get in the playoff, that hunger level goes to a whole different stratosphere is Seattle, the Rams, who trying to get back again. The 49ers, believe it or not, the 49ers, with all their injuries and situations, they're still
and they're getting healthy.
Somebody to reckon with. The Bears are outside chance of upsetting somebody. I just don't see Philadelphia getting back there. I don't see them doing it because not of the talent. They don't seem as hungry as they were. You can just
something
see
seems
it.
off. It just seems off with them.
They're not as hungry.
They've got the talent, but it just something just doesn't seem. It just, I don't know. Maybe they think they can click. You turn that switch, but I don't. History usually tells me that you just can't. It just doesn't.
Mike, if they don't go this year, Mike, their short run is done.
Yeah.
If Philly doesn't go this year, their short run is done because other players are leaving. A.J. Brown will probably be gone. Their short run is done. So Philly has to bite their nails and hope they can get back this year, because if they don't, that's it for Philly.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, let's talk about a run. We'll finish this off. College football playoffs. I mean, it doesn't get much better, really, than the college football playoffs. I'm excited. Represent the U. I know Greg is. I mean, you're pumped up. They're going to be going crazy at the house. You'll be ripping walls off. I don't know what you're going to be doing in your video, but it's going to be great. Miami gets in the playoffs, kind of first time in a long time, that we got this. They're going to A&M. I was there in A&M. I can tell you that was the best college atmosphere stadium I've been to. Now, I haven't been to all of them, but I've been there. It's a tough place to play. It is loud as hell, and the stadium is huge, 110,000 people in there. Fans are wild. It's definitely going to be a home field advantage. Miami is going to have to do something to quiet this crowd and to kind of get them out of it. They're going to be getting guys back healthy, so they should be full go. They're going to have their work cut out. I mean, make no mistake about it. Texas A&M is a very good program. Now, they stumbled a little bit in the end, and they didn't look that great against, I think it was Mississippi State. They had that monster comeback. They were down a lot. But that's probably that, and the Alabama game is the marquee game. So we're just going to talk about those two. But what are you thinking about Miami and A&M and kind of how you see it?
Well, first of all, I'm just excited, overwhelmingly excited that we're in the college football playoffs, that we do have another season that we're playing within the season. So that part, I'm just overwhelmed and overexcited about it. I'm nervous as hell. College Station, even back in my teens, a long time ago, College Station has been known as the place for college football fandom, whatever you want to call it, it is the place to go and play football, and to play against Texas A&M, no matter what their record is, they're going to bring the pain. They are so hungry to get in this college playoffs and move forward that they're going to bring everything past lunch bucket, shoes, and draws to play against us. And that game that they were so far behind, 28 points behind or something, came back and won. It was so impressive.
Yeah.
The one aspect about Miami that gives me the confidence that we can hold our ground and stay in there to the fourth quarter and hope we get some kind of turnovers or a mishap is Carson Beck is championship caliber tested.
He's played in this.
And he's played in this. And hopefully his leadership between now and then and the game, his leadership will show. And he will be able to keep us in the game, because that's the whole thing. If he can keep us into the fourth quarter, we got a damn good chance of pulling this one out. But this is going to be, by no mistake, this is going to be the biggest challenge the Hurricanes have had in quite some time playing this game against Texas A&M, because Texas A&M is the absolute truth.
Yeah, no, they've got a good all-around team, mobile quarterback. I mean, the Canes, what I like about them is their defense and offensive lines are strength. I mean, they've got a very stout offensive line. They'll have a first-round draft pick out of their offensive line. Defensive line, they'll have a first-round draft pick. The DNs are solid. I like what the defensive coordinator has done with this team. I mean, you wish that our man Cam Ward had this defense, and Miami probably would have had a sixth national championship had they had this defense. Or putting up 40 points a game. But it was it was reminiscent of the Cowboys this year. Your offense puts up a ton of points, but the defense gives up more. So the defense is playing solid. They're getting some guys healthy on the back end and the secondary. So I think the Canes will be ready. It's just going to be a tough crowd, and momentum in college football is bigger than anything. NFL doesn't really rival it. The momentum is just huge, plays a huge swing. So if they allow this crowd to really get going and the team feeds off it, it could be a problem. I think it's going to be a close game. Vegas really thinks it's going to be a close game. They got a 3.5, which is basically a pick 'em in a neutral site. So it's going to be good. I'm excited. It's a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see how that kind of goes, East Coast time, I think, 11 o'clock on Central. But it's an early game, which, you thought maybe this would be the later game or at least a 3:30 or 7. But it's going to be the early game. So see how this team is ready. I know Uncle Cheech I think he already flew out there. He's ready with the Golden Canes, and he's going to hopefully bring some good love and some luck to it. The other two games are shit. Oh, the other two of the 4 games are shitty. Tulane and shouldn't even be in the playoffs. I think it's criminal what they've done. But Alabama, Oklahoma, you look at that. Alabama, Oklahoma beat them, right? They beat them early. Alabama hasn't been playing their best football, but Alabama's still Alabama when they need to be. I'm not been as impressed with Oklahoma throughout the year, but they did beat Alabama. It's hard to beat a good team twice. I mean, how do you think this game's going to break down?
Well, first of all, Oklahoma has home field advantage.
Yes.
So that right there is huge. And you talked about momentum swing, which is spot on, because not only does that momentum swing energize those players that are playing at home, it gets into the head of the visitors, especially with a crowd like that over 100,000. It gets into the head of the visitors, and some of them start to doubt themselves and making mistakes. And Oklahoma is going to be just as fired up as Texas A&M is about beating Alabama at Oklahoma, since they have home field advantage. And Alabama, right now, Alabama's just lucky. They're just lucky that the scandalous NCAA put them in the playoffs. Because really, Notre Dame should be playing. I don't like Notre Dame. I'm not saying anything to help you. But you should be playing Oklahoma versus Alabama playing. Now, that was, if any time in my entire life I defend Notre Dame, it would be this over Alabama. That was a travesty. But Alabama, I expect Alabama to get mollywopped. I do. I expect them to get.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I expect them to get mollywopped from Oklahoma like Georgia did them, because they're right now. Think about this, Mike. DeBoer has not said, I'm not going anywhere. I am staying in Alabama no matter what, blah, 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 blah. He has not said that. The rumors keep going around. They're still talking about it. 1 foot in, 1 foot probably at the door. They just came off of that mollywop from Georgia. They know they shouldn't be in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to come with that motivation like we're going to prove everybody wrong. I think they're still scared, and they know that they're just one more mollywop from being totally annihilated. And I think Oklahoma is going to do that to them. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma is a 1.5 point favorite at home. Miami's line actually dropped. It's down now. It's opened at, I think, 5.5. It's now down to 2.5. Very interesting that line keeps dropping. And Garland, I know you're loyal to the show, so you know Uncle Cheech is a beloved Hurricane fan, part of the Golden Canes. I mean, he's an insider in there. He won't ever pick against Miami, so he's sustained from even picking that game. But he likes Alabama. I would say that. He did tell me he likes Alabama in that game against Oklahoma. It's going to be – they're two good games. I mean, they're two good games. The other two, I mean, Tulane, Ole Miss, they played each other, I believe, early in the year. It was like 45-10. Why Tulane is in the playoffs? I mean, Notre Dame should be in there. I'll give you that. It should be Notre Dame and BYU should be in instead of James Madison. I mean, if you got a 17.5 and a 21.5 point spread in a playoff game that's supposed to be the top 12 teams, you don't have the top 12 teams.
No. And I think what the NCAA was trying to do, Mike, it's a hit and miss this year. If they could have got it right, this could have been the perfect season where they have no scandal. They could have got it right with Miami, Notre Dame, BYU. They could have got it right this year. And then next year, what they're trying to do is they're trying to include some of these teams that no matter how well they play, I know, but they're trying to find a way to do that, because what that does, Mike, we all see that as two teams that probably get annihilated. But what that does by giving them an opportunity in the playoffs is give them an opportunity for recruitment and then possibly some money. And as it grows and the recruitment goes and the Neils grow, these teams, their hope is that these teams will get better and become eventually powerhouses if it works that way. I understand what they're trying to do. That's why they're talking about even expanding the playoffs even more next year because of that, to include teams. So their heart is in the right place. But with this 12-team program this year, they would have hit a home run if they had just stuck to the format before, leave Alabama out, brought BYU, bought Notre Dame, and then I forgot who else was right behind them. But they would have hit a home run for the first time, as far as I'm concerned, in how they do things. But I saw what they're trying to do. And of the two teams, JMU and Tulane, I think the team that'll play a better game, whether they get annihilated or not, is JMU. I think JMU is going to play a better game than what everybody expects them. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they'll play a better game. So the NCAA, their heart was in the right place, but then they turned around and screwed that up by putting Alabama in, and they got to get over that, man. They are so in bed with Alabama.
Well, it's the SEC. They're
it's that Alabama thing. It's that Alabama thing. It's been that way for centuries. They will find a way to justify why Alabama deserves to be where they are, and in the preseason ratings and all of that. It's just that it drives me nuts the way they do that. And that's why a lot of teams feel like they get no respect, because especially when they beat Alabama and stuff, Alabama got mollywopped by Georgia, and then you're going to turn around. And like I said, I'm not sticking up for Notre Dame by any circumstance. And I think they were punks for saying they don't want to get into the playoffs again. So if any team takes them off the schedule, good. And then you'll never get a chance. You'll play JMU in your season and see how well you do. But they should have been playing. They should have been in there over Alabama, period. Hands down.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. What I would say is this isn't NCAA basketball. You don't have Cinderella stories in football. You know, you can get a mid-major and he ends up with a great player in basketball, and that makes all the difference in the world. You get the upset and go. I don't think you need to do more than 12 teams. I mean, again, these are kids. This is college football. You know, you can't play 15, 16 games. You know, I haven't played 4 extra games, in the postseason or whatever. 12 is fine. Just get the best 12. And then what you do is you create the NIT and you take the next 12 and bring in some small schools and let them have that version of a national championship and give them the opportunity to do that. So if you have a bad team in the ACC that's like, let's say Duke, like Duke isn't that good, but they did throw them in that, throw them in the NIT, you know, and you can be fair that way, but this isn't basketball. You cannot put now watch Tulane win. I look like an idiot, but you cannot put Tulane in a playoff just because you just want to be nice and say, all right, we're going to feel good for them. And we want to be fair to them because people can get hurt. I mean, these kids can get, you're playing 5-star studs deep and you're playing a team that might have a couple of 3-stars or, you know, maybe get lucky and get a 4-star. That's how people get hurt. I don't know. But all I care about, and I know you care about, is Miami winning that first round. That's most important.
And maybe the NCAA was looking back on what they did with Kansas State. Remember, Kansas State got in, and everybody said, what the hell they in for? And I think they won their first round game, didn't they? Kansas State?
I think Kansas State was a better team then. The example I would give is who'd the team they put in last year that got absolutely TCU or whatever it was that was overmatched, and they put them in and they shouldn't have been there, but I think they won in a really bad conference. The Big 12 was, or I don't know if it was this year or the year before, but there was some team that got absolutely destroyed and it was embarrassing. But I don't know. Hey, there's no perfect way, but I think you got to take out Tulane wasn't ranked in the top 12. They're ranked like 20th, and the other team was ranked 25th or whatever. So they obviously, no one thought they were a top 12 team. They just don't put them in there to be nice. I don't know. That's just, I think you should not have conferences anymore, because how can you have 18 teams in one conference, and how are you going to get the 2 best teams every time? ACC proved it. The 2 best teams should have been arguably SMU and Miami. But you end up putting Duke in because Duke didn't play a bunch of crappy teams in the ACC schedule. Miami played these teams, and because you had some weird tiebreaker where it was teams you played record in the ACC, you end up with a crap team. It blows up in your face. So don't have conferences. Just have everyone play and take the 2 best 12 teams. That's it.
And don't pre-rank people.
No,
those same teams you pre-rank and give them automatically 1 through 10 when you know good and damn well they don't deserve 1 through 10 yet. And then you justify a way to try to keep them in the top 10. And that just blows everybody else's chances away. But the ACC is talking about just what you're talking about, not necessarily getting rid of the conference, but they're talking about doing something next year far better to really get the better teams. Because everybody, Feinbaum, everybody agrees Miami should have been in the ACC championship game. They all believe or Miami and SMU. They all believe it. Now Duke did themselves a favor by beating Virginia in that in the ACC championship. So good for Duke and their recruiting, but Miami should have been in there.
Yeah, no. Well, hey guys, we definitely appreciate it. We ran over hour and a half. You know, when you get Greg and I together, you get the Canes and you get the Cowboys, and we're going to sit here and talk forever. So, Greg, I appreciate you. Short notice, pinch hitting. It was obviously Kelly's putting that overtime in, getting ready for the holidays. And again, I just want to take a moment, hit that subscribe, like, share. But on behalf of the entire Cowboys Cave family, and if you guys want to be part of the Cave family, you can join and become a member. We got great things. I've got some gift cards going out to a couple people already. You can join below, click that, and you can be in a K family. It's like $4.99 a month or something. All the money goes back into the channel to support it. So definitely appreciate it, but it's not required. But sincerely, this channel has grown over the last year. It is doubled in subscribers. It is doubled in viewing hours. We hit 1 million views since we had the channel launched and started doing this show. So really on behalf of Greg, and obviously Jeff's now a part of it, Jimmy Dee, who is a staple and it was kind of always my sidekick and the one who helped me get it started. Obviously Kelly K9, my dog, he's my guy, and we have a great time doing it. On the entire Cowboys Cave family, obviously Cuts by Jones, a prominent sponsor. From day one, you guys make sure you hit up Cuts by Jones, and everyone else who's part of the family, and the loyal people that watch every week and listen to me rant and have a good time. I definitely love you guys. I always enjoy seeing you guys at Cowboys games. Hopefully it'll be much better circumstances, but I promise you this, Cowboys Cave tailgate party, 4th annual, is going to get better and better. We've won tailgate of the day with the Dallas Cowboys 2 years in a row. Better believe it's going to be 3. So I hope that I see you guys out there because it's going to be a great time. It'll be early in the season like we always do. We're going to pick that right game early, but hopefully you guys see you out there. So I'll be doing videos. You guys will be seeing me down in the Keys. You'll see me in the Bahamas, but I won't be able to do any live videos. So I probably won't see you guys till after Christmas and the holidays. So I do want to wish you guys Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything. And definitely love and appreciate all the support. So you guys have a great evening. Greg, I'll let you give the final words, and then we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, 3 quick things. One, tailgate party. We had a former Cowboys fan who's a friend of ours and comes. We had Zeke's mom was there this time. We had Parsons' brother that was there this time. They stayed. And another thing, the tickets I had for the Chargers game, since I cannot go, I have come to my absolute bottom price. I ain't going no lower than that. $530 for both tickets. There's section 202 seats, row 7, seats 18 and 19. These are $840 tickets for the pair. I'm selling them for $530 max. That's it. I ain't going no lower than that. If you want them, contact me. You can get through me through TikTok. You can get through me on Facebook, which is Gregory Gerard without the 146. You can contact Mike and let him know, and we can sell you those tickets off of Ticketmaster. And finally, I got cuts like Mike. I got Cuts by Jones stuff all over this room, Hurricanes and Cowboys, because he is phenomenal. But have a Merry Christmas. Be safe, ultimately. Be safe. Enjoy your family, and always remember, every day above ground is a good damn day. So have a good time. Cowboys and Hurricanes for life.
Absolutely. We can see you. Have a great weekend. Merry Christmas.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.